Hello there. This is a story from Hokkaido about the mountain men. The mountain men, the yamao or yamabito. Those are other names for the Hibagon, the Japanese Bigfoot. This story is taken from Hokkaido Viewpoint. There's a link in the video description. The title is Mountain Men Who Love Tobacco. Mountain Men Who Love Tobacco. And it says this is a story about mountain men who eat beasts and humans in the mountains around the Daisetsuzan Mountains. Okay, stop right there. As an aside, we also have had a story of a Japanese Bigfoot in Tohoku who helped a logging operation peeling trees. His job was peeling trees. These forest giants just love peeling trees. They do it for free. But the loggers paid this helpful fellow with cigarettes. On with the story. Mountain Men Who Love Tobacco. Once upon a time there lived a poor old hunter by the Tokachi River. One winter the hunter went hunting up the Tokachi River to the mountains. He walked for several days in the mountains, but was unable to catch a single rabbit, and the little food that he had brought with him was gone. He couldn't even make it back down the mountain if he didn't manage to catch even at least one rabbit. It was then that he found the otter tracks. The hunter began to follow the tracks. They went along the river for miles. The hunter stayed on them. Suddenly he realized that the entire area around him was a dense pine forest. The hunter looked at the river. "I have stumbled upon a strange place," he said. "It is winter, but there is no ice." Then the hunter felt a strange and indescribable feeling. I think I've felt that feeling twice, once on Mount Hiba, once near Grandma's house. "What?" the hunter shouted. Before his eyes were his own footprints, the otter's footprints too. I think the implication is there that he's been wandering in a circle. Then from the stream far away came a thud. Thud, thud. It was like stepping on snow with snowshoes, but the sound was coming from beyond the stream, and then from in front of the stream, and then suddenly it got dark above the hunter's head. The hunter slowly looked up. There was a big foot. Singular and plural are kind of the same in Japanese. Let me say that again. There were big feet. Above them was a big body. And much higher up was a big head. It was a mountain man. He had big feet like snowshoes, and his body was covered with long hair. His head was also covered with hair. His sharp eyes shone brightly as he stared at the hunter. The hunter came to his senses and started running backward as hard as he could. All he could do was run backward. No matter how hard the hunter ran, the mountain man's big feet were always right in front of him. At last, the hunter's back was against the bottom of a cliff. He said, "Don't eat me. I have a hungry grandmother waiting for me at home. I will give you whatever I have. Just don't eat me," he cried desperately. The mountain man stopped, as if he had heard the hunter's wish. But the hunter did not have anything, not so much as a scrap of meat. The hunter could do nothing. And after waiting for a while, the mountain man reached a hairy hand out towards the hunter's body. Wait a minute. How about this? This is all I have. The hunter took out his pipe and tobacco container. He filled his pipe with tobacco, lit it with trembling hands, and fearfully presented it to the mountain man. The mountain man suddenly began to smile, put his hand on his head, and bowed several times in embarrassment. He took the small pipe in his big hand and took a puff off it. He bowed and smoked again, and then, when he finished, "Gow! Gow!" Then he turned and went away. The hunter sat down, feeling relieved. But the mountain man soon came again. This time he was holding a frighteningly huge spear in his hand. The hunter, having decided that it was all over, sat still with his eyes closed. Thud! The sound of a large object thrown in front of him. The hunter opened his eyes. He saw a large axe, and the mountain man was gone. Stopping there, just remembering the sighting of the Hibagon in Kui, Mitsui, Mihara City, in 1982, that sighting where the Hibagon was carrying a stone axe in one hand, a stone axe, and a stone in the other, seen by 2 witnesses. Continuing. The haft of the axe was so large and so heavy that the hunter could not carry it by himself. But while he was trying, he heard the voices of other hunters. He called them to himself. Together, they decided to pick up the huge axe and carry it. Underneath the axe were 2 rabbits. On the way down the mountain, the hunters caught a lot of game. After this, hunters who went hunting in the mountains of Daisetsuzan would always bring tobacco with them, as it was said that it would save their lives, even if they met a mountain man, a Hibagon, a Japanese Bigfoot. The end. Okay, in today's news, I left the horse strongly wedged into the half teepee yesterday. This morning, 24 hours later, it was pulled forward, unwedged, and pulled forward by someone with fingers. It would have to be. Well, well. Amethyst, untouched. I hope it was admired, but it was untouched. I moved the bug spray slightly. See if that does anything. And then I made a neat little stick glyph. This is of my making. It's the Japanese character for friend. Friend. On the suggestion of Urban Meadow Angel. I like that, Urban Meadow Angel. I thought that was a really good idea. Thank you. There it is. The kanji for friend. Then I moved the horse to behind the Ko shrine. Nobody goes back there. Let's get rid of our hypothetical jogger entirely. We'll put the horse back there, nearer the wilderness boundary and right on the Hibagon's corridor. How he, she, they come in here. I think we can all agree that only someone tall, with hands would be able to move it from here. Okay, what else? Oh, yeah, right by our usual shrine. Well, this is new and coincidence defying. I'd like anybody to try to run the odds on this. 3 branches hanging from the same limb where there were none. Three branches, and 2 of them, it looks like they depend on each other to be there. And the third. But two of them depend on each other. Look at that. And right at the base of the same tree, several branches that may have been tried and rejected. See here, 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 there, here, lying on top of this tree. Looks like a trial and error process. I'll see if I can touch the bottom of this. It's on an incline and nope. If I jumped it, maybe I could reach it, but I wouldn't be able to grab onto it. Let's try this one. Okay, that's my reach. I'm not on my knees, guys. I'm on my tiptoes. So the bottom of the sticks is below my reach, let alone my grip. No. Maybe if I put the Nikon camera down, maybe I could, but all I'd be able to do is knock it, not manipulate it. Good grief. How tall is that? How high up is that? 10 feet? Also, in our just general weirdness department, that's a pretty large department actually. I got to the shrine early today, earlier than usual. Now, I don't go back in the woods in the dark. Color me chicken. I waited out by the shrine and smoked a pipe, thinking about today's story from Hokkaido. I like to alert whoever is maybe in the woods that I'm coming. And then I go in slowly, obviously, so whoever might be there has a chance to give up the space or ambush me, whichever. I left my pipe here to cool, and I left the camera bag too. When I came out of the woods, packed up, I carried the camera bag to the steps. I carried it in my hand, and then I slung it around my neck, and it fell and bounced on the steps. It bounced down several steps. This expensive camera. Guys, while I was in the woods, one clip on the strap, on the strap of the bag, unclipped from the bag. Here are photos of both clips. They are fine. There's nothing wrong with them. Either it unclipped itself when I was taking the bag off my body. Well, that would be a first. I've never had that problem before. Or it unclipped itself while I was in the woods. Or someone unclipped it. Someone sneaky when I was in the woods or in the other woods up by the Ko Shrine. I'm not laying any accusations. I'm just describing exactly what happened and wondering, did someone smell my pipe? And while I was gone, was someone trying to bum a smoke? If he was, I forgive him. There's nothing wrong with that. The camera still works. It's not broken, thank goodness. Next time I go, I will leave a gift of tobacco. But next stop, and I think next video, colossal solar calendar on Mount Hiba.